Hello students, welcome to my channel Biology Foundation. This is part 2 of Unit 4 Health and Hygiene. If you remember in my previous class, that is part 1 of Unit 4, we discussed what actually food contains in it. Basically, food contains certain substances which help in growth and development of our body. Those substances we call them as nutrients. And food is required for the maintenance of all living organisms. Basically, we have also discussed why food is required in order to provide energy, to see that the damaged cells are repaired, for proper mental and physical growth, for growth and development of the body. Food is necessary. And even in order for new cells to be formed. Okay, so we have seen the reasons why we need to actually eat food. And then we talked about the various nutrients present in food. We talked about carbohydrates, examples, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Along with these nutrients, it is very important that food also contains fiber in it. I'm sorry, in my last video I used I did a spelling mistake. It is fiber, not bre. Okay, fiber. And food must, like, along with our food, we have to take proper amount of water so that the food gets digested properly. There is effective removal or efficient removal of waste substances from the body, right? And we have also seen how food is classified into energy giving food, which constitutes your carbohydrates and fats, carbs and fats. Then food can also be classified into bodybuilding food, which include basically protein rich food. And then we have protective foods which help in providing immunity to the body or protection of our body from various diseases, where these food items are rich in vitamins and minerals. Basically, protective foods are your raw fruits and vegetables. So in the last video we discussed what actually does the food contain in it, and we have discussed about the various nutrients, right? So today let's understand what are the factors that affect our health. If you remember, we discussed or we started our part 1 with health, with the term health. What actually is health? It's not just absence of disease. Health, according to World Health Organization, is physical, mental, and emotional well being, right? So, for good health, what are the things that we need to do, or what are the factors that determine our health? Whether we'll be growing as a healthy individual, or do we develop certain disease as we age? So, what are the factors that affect our health? First is balanced diet. Okay, what is meant by balanced diet? When I say balanced diet, that means your meal should contain food items in it which have all the nutrients in it, okay, in right proportion. Like, for example, let's assume chapatis, or you can take the example of rice. Chapati and rice, they are rich in carbohydrates. Now daily if you eat only rice, or daily if you eat only chapati for breakfast, lunch and dinner, then you are getting sufficient amount of carbohydrates. But what about proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals? Even they are also essential nutrients, right? So eating only one food item does not keep you healthy. Okay, you are basically undernourished. Why? Because only one nutrient is properly getting replenished in your body, which is carbohydrates. If you are daily eating only one food item, you are only replenishing or filling that one particular nutrient present inside in the food. But what about the other nutrients? So that's the reason your meal should have various kinds of food items in it, where each food item is rich in one nutrient. So it's quite important to understand that not all food items have all the nutrients in them. Okay, like for example, chapati or rice, they don't have all nutrients in them, but they are rich in one nutrient. What is that one nutrient? They are rich in carbohydrates. Now for example, can you see this plate of food here? It has all the nutrients in it. Like you have meat in it, then you have some pulses, fruits and vegetables, right? So you will get the fats and proteins from this, and carbohydrates, and even some amount of protein from the dal, and vegetables and fruits you get vitamins and minerals. And if you drink a glass of water, and even fiber from fruits and vegetables, so it's a balanced diet where you are getting each nutrient from one food item. Okay, and you need to combine all the food items and have it in your meal for proper diet. Okay, if your food lacks nutrients, then what happens? Like for example, let's assume you are eating food which has more amount of carbohydrate in it and more amount of fat. Then what happens? The person becomes obese. You start putting on more weight. Okay, and later it can obesity can lead to various other diseases or complications like blood pressure, sugar, etc. So that's the reason it's quite important that you won't eat in excess or you won't eat very less. That's the reason diet must be taken in appropriate amounts. Okay, so more amount of carbohydrates or fats can lead to obesity, but if you take less amount, what will happen? Can you see here the child is looking very tired, so you feel very lethargic, you don't have energy to perform any activity. Okay, if you take very less amount of carbohydrate. If you take very less amount of fats, then what happens? Your skin looks very dry, you look very thin. Okay, if the amount of fat content is less, then there would be dry skin, people look very thin because of uh, low fat. Okay, and even weak eyesight, poor eyesight. Okay, what about proteins? If you take more amount of proteins, then what happens? It causes damage to the kidneys. If you take very less amount of protein, what will happen? Your muscle won't build, no proper muscle formation, no proper body building. So therefore, when you eat food, whether it is breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you need to see that all the nutrients are being given to your body, and that too in appropriate amounts. It shouldn't be in excess or it shouldn't be even very less. If you give excess amount of carbohydrates or fats, it leads to obesity. Less amount of carbohydrates, you feel very tired. More amount of fats, obesity. Less amount of fats, you look very thin or your skin will be dry or poor eyesight. If you eat more amount of protein, it can cause damage to kidneys. If you eat less amount, muscle building won't happen. So that's the reason appropriate amount of all the nutrients must be taken in the diet. But how do I know that how much amount of carbohydrates should I eat or how much amount of proteins I need to eat? So try to understand balanced diet depends on age of the person, gender of the person, and the type of work the person is doing. Like for example, pregnant women and lactating women, that means women who breastfeed their newborn babies, they require more amount of food because they are eating not only for themselves but even for the developing fetus in the womb, or they are feeding they are eating in order to feed the baby. Is it clear? So that's the reason pregnant women and lactating mothers, they need to eat more food, healthy food, balanced diet, so that they can give proper nourishment to the babies. That is first thing. And second thing is, I said balanced diet depends on age as well. Like children, adults, teenagers, they require more amount of energy. Okay, because they do certain activities which require more amount of energy. Like children, they won't sit in one place, right? They are active. Like you can see most of you people, you after even coming from school, what do after having your lunch or whatsoever it is? Immediately you go out and play. So when you are doing such strenuous activities like playing, jumping, swimming, walking, whatsoever, it requires more amount of energy, for which you need to eat more food, right? So basically, children, adults, teenagers, they need more amount of energy when compared to old people. Why? Elderly people, they don't do much of physical activities, they sit in a place for most of the time. So that's the reason the amount of food that they need to take should be less compared to children, adults, or teenagers. And one more thing is, usually require or take more food compared to women. Okay. Why is that so? Because that's how their body is built. Okay. Men need more energy when compared to women. Hence, they usually consume more amount of food compared to women. Okay. That's the only reason is that's how their body is built. Okay. And it depends on type of work. As I told you, balanced diet, the amount of carbohydrates that my body requires or amount of proteins my body requires, it depends on age. Like for example, if you are a child or you are a teenager or you are an adult, you need more amount of these nutrients when compared to an elderly person. It depends on gender. If you are male, you require more amount of it. If you are female, slightly less amount. It also depends on type of work. Now here you can see two images where one person is doing some physical activity, physical labor is being done, and here you can see a woman doing desk job. Okay. Now, out of these two, who required more energy? This person, obviously, right? He is doing some strenuous activity which requires physical labor. He's using his muscles, right, for his work. Women, here you can see even this woman is working. She is doing mental activity, but not physical activity. Okay. I'm not saying that she doesn't require energy. Indeed, energy is required because even she is using her brain, using her mental energy to do the work. But the amount of energy required is less compared to the male or the person who is doing physical activity. Okay, so when people are involved in more physical activities, they need more energy and hence have to take more, like, good amount of balanced diet when compared to people doing desk jobs. Okay. So, just now I told you, you have to take balanced diet in right proportions, right? If you take more or if you take less, anything can be considered as undernourished. If you're taking more, then there are chances of obesity or kidney failure or affect to the kidneys. If you take very less, you might feel tired, your you will become lean or thin, or your body might not be built properly. So the nutrients, that is your proteins, minerals, vitamins, fats, all must be taken in appropriate amounts. Now, if you see here, 2 to 3 years child needs 13 grams of protein. 4 to 8 years they need 19 because now they are doing more amount of physical activity. 9 to 13 years, 34. 14 to 18 years girls require 46 amount of 46 grams of protein, whereas boys require 52 grams. I told you boys need more amount of energy. They do more, like their body is built such that they need more food. Okay. And they need more energy. Girls require only 46 grams. Okay. In the same way, vitamins, if you see, always amount is high in boys when compared to girls, right? And even if you see from 2 to 3 years to 9 to 13, you're going growing into a teenager. Okay. So you perform more physical activities and your body is growing, so your body needs more amount of energy during that time. Fats, can you see the amount? 33 to 54, 39 to 62 in 4 to 8 years child, in 9 to 13 years child, 62 to 85. And once you reach 14 to 18 years, girls require 55 to 78 calories, boys require 61 to 95. Okay, now what is calories? It is unit or energy which is supplied by food is measured as calories. Okay. Now, when we are eating food, obviously the food gets digested and energy is liberated. The energy that is liberated by that food or by that particular nutrient is measured in calories. Okay, here you can see picture of junk food, right? Usually, junk food, they are high in calories but very, very low in nutrients. Okay, that means when you eat junk food, like for example, if you eat a burger or a pastry or a donut or something of that sort, your stomach uh, feels that you are full, you are completely full because they are it's high calorie rich food. That means it provides more amount of energy, but the thing is the amount of nutrients that are being provided by the junk food are very less. Though your stomach feels full, but your body is not getting enough nourishment through junk food. Okay, why? Because your stomach feels full because you are getting the amount of energy, but your body is not getting the essential nutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals that it needs for its maintenance and sustenance. So, junk food therefore must be avoided, and we have to consume junk food either once in 3 months or once in 2 months. Okay, and it is not good for our health. So our diet must be balanced diet where it must include all the food items in right proportion. And how should we take the diet? It depends whether you, if you are a child, you require more amount of food when compared to an elderly person. If you are a female, you require, if you are a female and you are a lactating, or like if there is a female or a woman who is lactating or a pregnant woman, require more amount of food as they're feeding the baby, right? So they need more nourishment, and a person doing physical activity needs more energy compared to a person doing desk job. So can you see here the pyramid where amount of water that you have to drink should be more. Cereal, that is carbohydrates, must be taken in good amount. Fruits, vegetables, they need to be eaten. And can you see the proportion of fats is very very less, but we eat that only more, right? We eat more chocolates, we eat more sweet items, oily food items, or spicy food items, but that should be reduced. Okay, fats must be in right proportion. More amount of fats can lead to obesity, or even less amount you become very thin. So that's the reason right proportion fats must be taken. Okay, so a balanced diet is a diet where all the nutrients are given to our body in appropriate proportions. Okay, so that is the first factor which will determine our health. If you eat good food, if you eat healthy food, food with good amount of fruits and vegetables in it, then obviously you will have good health. Okay, but if you eat food with high calories and less nutrients, like any junk food, then obviously it affects our body, resulting in bad health. Okay, now the second factor that determines our health is adequate exercise and rest. Not just eating but even exercising is quite important. Okay, it's good that you are eating balanced diet, but your body also needs some movement. Okay, so exercising is must, and it is said that exercise is must for children, adolescents, and adults. Okay, our body must move. Why? To make our muscles strong. To see, muscles are built by proteins, but the muscles have to be strengthened, and we can strengthen our muscles by doing adequate exercise. And exercising can be in any form. Either you can go for a brisk walk, that is walking properly, like for a good amount of time, um, at a good speed. Okay, that is brisk walk, and or cycling, swimming. All this can be considered as good exercises. And when you do exercising, what happens? First thing is muscles are built, it strengthens the muscles. Secondly, circulation of blood happens properly. That means blood travels to all parts of the body properly, carrying the oxygen, and heart pumps at a better r- speed or better rate. Okay, and thirdly, lungs show proper expansion and contraction. That means you can breathe freely properly, there won't be any breathing problems. Okay, so people usually say persons who are suffering from asthma or something, it's better they go for a walk, they do some exercise. Thus it helps in proper expansion and contraction of their lungs. Okay, and there will be proper circulation of blood when you do adequate exercise. And exercising also helps in relieving tension. Okay, why? Because there is circulation of blood in your brain, and when you do exercise, what happens is you get fresh ideas. Okay, that's the reason when you, during examination time, when you have board exams or something, your parents or teachers say don't continuously study for hours. Go, like once you study for 1 hour, take a break, go for a walk. You shouldn't see your mobile or something during the break. Instead, you can have a healthy fruit and go for a walk. When you go for a walk, what happens, it's a kind of relaxation to your brain, and your mind gets refreshed. And once you come back, uh, you can study with more energy, and uh, you can better understand the concepts. Okay, so that's the reason exercising is quite important. And if you don't do exercise, what happens, it can lead to obesity. But when you do exercise, it burns all your calories which get accumulated near the stomach region, and thus you can become a healthy individual. Okay, that's the reason when children or adults are obese, what do the doctors advise? They won't give any medicines or something, or they won't tell stop eating. First thing they tell is do proper exercising, and second thing that they advise is to stop eating junk food. Junk food is rich in calories and very less amount of nutritional value. So therefore, junk food must be avoided, and proper exercising must be done. So when you exercise, it basically burns your calories, and people uh, like they lose their weight. They are no longer obese, and become healthy. Okay, so regular exercising is must for children, adolescents, and young people. And why is exercising important? It makes our muscles strong, blood circulation becomes faster, more oxygen is supplied. Okay, lungs also expand and become efficient. And exercising helps us in relieving our tension. It burns the extra fat and keeps our body fit and healthy. Regular exercises can be a brisk walk, it can be cycling or swimming. Okay, so you need balanced diet. You need to eat food properly. You need to exercise and even take proper rest. Rest is also quite important. Okay, and when I say rest, what do I mean? Take having proper sleep. Okay, now why is rest or sleep important? It is important so that our brain can be happy. Okay, when you eat good food, your physical body will be happy. Okay, when you do exercises, your physical body will be happy. But when you take rest, it's the time when all the organs get some rest. Okay, so when you sleep properly, mind basically becomes very relaxed and it's quite happy. Okay, and when you sleep, what actually happens, all the muscles are at rest, heartbeat also slows down. Okay, there is complete relaxation of various parts of the body. All the organs are at rest when you are in sleep. Okay, so even the internal organs get some rest so that they can work efficiently the next day. But if you won't sleep properly, what happens? You will get digestive problems. The food that you eat won't get digested properly, as a result of which you might start vomiting or something of that sort. Or your mind is not active. Whatever the teacher is explaining in class, you will not be able to understand. Okay, that's the reason. What do they say? Your mother might say, tomorrow you are having school, go to sleep on time. Like if you have school tomorrow, today you need to sleep by 8:30 or 9. Otherwise, how can you wake up tomorrow or the next day around 6? Okay, even if for example, you slept today at 12 o'clock or 11:30, and tomorrow you have to wake up at 6, and you woke up. Okay, because you had school, so you need to wake up. So you woke up and went to school. But as the day progresses, what will happen? Maybe in the first period you will be active. Second, third period, okay, slightly you feel drowsy, and after the lunch, the next periods you won't be able to concentrate in the class, right? So that's the reason you need to sleep on time. Or if you sleep at 11:30 and the next day if you don't go to school, what happens? You become absent and you will miss out the classes or the periods or fun going on in school, right? So it's quite important that you sleep on time and wake up on time. Healthy, like they say, no, that you need to go to bed early. Early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? So it's quite important that you go to bed on time and wake up early in the morning. Give your body a little movement by doing some exercise, having proper balanced diet, and that keeps your mind and even your body healthy. Okay, so sleeping is important. It is the time where our brain and other organs get some rest, and if you are not sleeping properly, then it can result in digestive issues or nervous system issues. Your brain can't think properly. Okay, your mind gets disturbed. So therefore sleep is must. Okay. And yoga is also a form of exercise. It's where you close your eyes and try not to think anything and only concentrate on breathing, that is inhaling and exhaling, as a result of which your mind becomes very relaxed. Usually people also or doctors advise you to do meditation, okay, because that's where your mind can be relaxed. Okay, you concentrate on your breathing, not on any other thought. Okay, meditation is also good. It's or yoga is also a form of exercise. Now, okay, sleeping is good. Does that mean can I sleep for hours together? No, then you become lazy. Okay, so what is adequate sleep? When I say adequate sleep, for children, newborn babies, ideal or good amount of sleep is 60 to 20 hours. Maybe you might have seen a newborn baby. They always sleep. Okay, that's because that's needed for their body. Okay, and a newborn baby, the adequate amount of sleep is usually 16 to 20 hours, and the amount of energy that they have is also very less. Okay, so 16 to 20 hours is the ideal sleep for newborn babies. For children, it is 8 hours of sleep. Okay, you need to get minimum 8 hours of sleep. You shouldn't sacrifice this sleep either for your studies or for watching your cartoon or a movie. So bedtime must be kept daily, like daily you need to sleep at the same time. Okay, and make a proper schedule such that you sleep by that time and wake up early in the morning. Okay, so for children bedtime is 8 hours, and for adults it is 6 to 7 hours. That is for your parents, ideal or adequate amount of sleep should be 6 to 7 hours. For children it should be 8 hours, and for newborn babies it should be 16 to 20 hours. And since sleep is good for our health, that doesn't mean you will sleep for many hours. Even that is not good for our body. Okay, when you sleep for more time, what happens? Your body that like is out of any movement. I mean, your body is not getting sufficient amount of movement or exercise, and you start becoming lazy. And when you become lazy, you won't do your activities on time. Okay, and that is not good for growth. Okay, so therefore, balanced diet is important. After taking proper diet, it is also important to do proper exercise. Proper movement is needed for building up our muscles and for proper functioning of lungs, heart, and mind. And sleep is also very crucial for good health. And if there is no proper sleep, then it affects our nervous system, digestive system, and mind also gets disturbed. So proper sleep is needed. Third is personal hygiene. Okay, now let's understand what is personal hygiene. Okay, when I say personal hygiene, it's nothing but personal cleanliness. Okay, why should we keep ourselves clean? Hygiene is nothing but cleanliness. Okay, why should we keep ourselves clean? To protect ourselves from diseases, right? We know diseases are caused by pathogens. What are pathogens? Microorganisms that cause disease. Okay, they are called pathogens. So we need to keep ourselves from away from. We should keep ourselves away from germs, from pathogens. For that, we need to clean ourselves. Okay, so for good health, when you want good health, you need to eat properly, you need to exercise, you need to sleep properly, and also keep yourself clean. Okay, so what should we do for good health? So there are certain good habits that one must follow, everyone should follow these habits for good health. What are they? First thing is taking bath daily. Okay, why? Because our body, the surface of our body, it has many microorganisms. Okay, we need to remove the dirt which is present on the skin and even the microorganisms. So that can be done by doing bath. Okay, regularly we need to bath, and preferably two times, early in the morning and after, like in the evening. Okay, before going to bed, before having your dinner, it's better to take a bath. Okay, because bathing sees that all the dirt that is present on the skin is removed, and even germs that are present on the skin are washed off by using the soap. Okay, So bathing is first thing. Second thing is washing hands before and after meals. Before meals we need to wash our hands. Why? Because our hands touch various objects. Now for example, you went to school, obviously you uh, touch your desk or bench, touch your books, touch your bag, or maybe tie your shoelace, or touch your friend's hand, or maybe touch the doorknob. You touch various kinds of objects. Or when you're going to a park, you play in the park where you are touching various things, or maybe play with the soil. So your hands are basically filled with germs. Okay, so therefore before meal and after meal, when I say meal, that doesn't mean only before breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Anything before you eat anything, it's very important that first you need to wash your hands, because your hands are touching various objects and there are chances that germs are present, high chances that germs are present. So that's the reason to wash off. You need to remove these germs, you need to wash your hands properly. Okay, that's the second thing. And third thing is you need to wash your eyes daily, early morning, like after you brush your teeth. It's quite important that you wash your face and wash your eyes with clean water, so that whatever uh, particles that get deposited, like during the night, are removed, and you can clearly see. Okay, so washing eyes is important with fresh water in the morning. Okay, and you shouldn't never you should rub your eyes. Okay, whenever any dirt particle or dust particle enters into your eye, immediately wash it with fresh water. Okay, next, rinsing mouth. So first is bathing daily. Second, washing your hands before and after meals. Washing your face and eyes with clean water. Fourth, rinsing your mouth. Now after eating, it's very important that you rinse your mouth 6 to 7 times, so that any food particle that got stuck in your teeth is removed. Okay, if you won't rinse your mouth, what happens? Food particles get stuck to your mouth, and once food gets stuck in your teeth, bacteria starts developing, and it can lead to tooth cavities, plaque formation, tooth decay, which we'll talk in the coming slide. But rinsing the mouth is very, very important, so that any food particles that get stuck in your teeth are removed. Okay, 6 to 7 times it's important that you rinse the mouth properly after every meal, whether you're having breakfast, snacks, lunch, or dinner, any food item. It's important that you rinse your mouth. Okay, trimming nails. Have you ever seen, it's a common rule in schools that you have to trim your nails. Okay, why is that? Because nails are hiding places for microorganisms. Okay, if you grow nails, yeah, nails look good, but the main thing is, uh, those are the places where microorganisms start lodging, or those are the hiding places for your microorganisms. And when you eat, obviously your hands or your fingers are going inside your mouth. Along with it, these microorganisms come in contact with the food and you get diseases. So it's very important that you trim your nails every week. Okay, under supervision of your parents, right? Next is bowels must be cleared. Okay, what does this mean? After eating, we know that our body generates waste substances, and these waste substances should be excreted out, right? So that's the reason when you are eating food, your food must be rich in fiber, and it must be, and you need to drink good amount of water, so that whatever waste substances are present, they move out of our body. Okay, through the process of excretion. So this bowels should be cleared every day, and preferably early in the morning. Okay, next, going to bed on time. As I discussed in the previous slide, it's very important that every day you need to sleep on time, the same time, like, so that your body starts adapting. Like, if you are sleeping today at 8:30, tomorrow also see that you sleep by 8:30 or 9. Okay, then your body starts adapting to it, and it knows that it's now time for bed. Is it clear? And once you sleep, like if you sleep early, then the next day you can wake up early, and your body also feels more energized, because you gave nice good amount of rest even for your mind and various other organs. So efficiently you can perform the next day in class or in school. Okay, so going to bed at night at regular times. Eighth is taking food or having food at regular hours. Now, it's a common habit seen in children that they skip breakfasts. Okay, it is very important that our body needs nutrients. Okay, it needs energy, so we need to have all the meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner, along with nutritious snacks. Okay, so at regular intervals, our body must be provided with healthy food. Okay, so we should never skip breakfast. Mainly why? Because the last meal that you had is dinner. Okay, which is around 7:30 or 8:30, and morning again, you are when you are waking up, there is a gap of 12 hours. Your body didn't get any food item for 12 hours. Okay, so therefore the next day when you are going to school, okay, where you have to listen to your first class, or you have to stand in the assembly, your body needs energy. So that's the reason you need to have your breakfast regularly. Okay, it's a common thing that is seen where children skip their breakfast, which shouldn't be done because your body didn't take food for very long time. Okay, so breakfast is must. Okay, that's another thing. And ninth is one more habit that every individual in any point of time that they have to adapt is saying no to tobacco or alcohol. These substances, tobacco or alcohol, they're very very dangerous to our health. Okay, they damage our lungs, damage our liver. Okay, and eventually it leads to death of the individual. So always say no to alcohol or tobacco. Okay, and even those who are doing, we need to tell them that it's a wrong habit and they need to change. Okay, talk with people and try to reduce and completely say no to these items. Okay, in whatever point of time in your life, never should you consume these substances. Okay, they are very very injurious to our health. Okay, so these are certain good habits for personal hygiene. As I told you, just in order to have good health, it's not that you will eat healthy food and get good sleep or exercise. It's very important that you maintain cleanliness of your body as well. Okay, because there are innumerable microorganisms present on the surface of the body which have to be cleaned and removed. So therefore personal cleanliness is important, and these are certain habits where you need to bathe regularly, wash your hands before and after having meals, washing your eyes early in the morning, then rinsing your mouth after meals, 6 to 7 times rinsing the mouth, trimming your nails, clearing the bowels early in the morning, sleeping on time, not skipping your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, saying no to alcohol or tobacco. And 10th is wearing clean garments or clothes. It's very important that you have to wear washed clothes and washed undergarments. Otherwise, there are high chances that you develop bacterial and fungal diseases. Okay, so therefore, the clothes that you are wearing, always see that they are properly washed and you wear only washed clothes. Okay, now let's talk. This is a part of personal hygiene, that is oral hygiene. Okay, what is meant by oral hygiene? Taking care of your teeth. Why teeth are very important? That's because teeth help in chewing our food. They help us to break the food into pieces, bits and pieces. They help us to grind the food, right? So therefore, it's very important that now, for example, if someone gives you an apple and you don't have teeth, can you chew the or break the apple into pieces? Obviously, no. So, teeth are very, very important. They are helping us to chew the food, they are helping us to grind the food or to break the food into pieces. So, we need to take proper care of teeth, and that is known as oral hygiene, taking proper care of our teeth. Now, usually, children they have milk teeth. Okay, and how many milk teeth children have? 20 milk teeth. And as they grow, what happens is the milk teeth starts falling. This milk teeth is also called temporary teeth. It starts falling and it is replaced by permanent teeth. How many permanent teeth? 32 teeth. Okay, so what are the types that you have? You have incisor, canines, molars, premolars. Four types. Okay, the front ones are called incisors. The side to the front. Now, if you see, these two are incisors. Then you have canines, premolars, molars, like that. Okay, how many incisors we have? Four. Canines 2, molar 4, premolar 6. 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6. 16 teeth on upper jaw. Okay, but you have teeth on the lower jaw also. You have above, you have below as well, right? So 16 plus 16, 32 total permanent teeth every adult has. But every child has 12 milk teeth, sorry, 20 milk teeth. These milk teeth, they get replaced by the permanent teeth. Okay, and the four types of teeth include incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. Okay, now here if you see, uh, every tooth has three parts: crown, neck, and root. What is crown? The part that you see. Like for example, if you see in this image, the part of the teeth that you see is called crown. What is root? It is the part which is present completely inside the gums. Can you see, these are the gums in your teeth, and that part of the teeth which is present inside the gums is called root. The part that you see is called the crown, and the connecting part which is present between crown and root, it is called neck portion. So the tooth contains three parts in it: crown, neck, and root. Crown is the visible portion of the teeth. Root is that part which gets completely embedded, or it is present inside the gums, and the portion that is connecting the crown and the root is the neck portion. Okay, so if you see here, can you see yellowing of the teeth? That is called plague formation. What is plague formation? Now, if you won't brush your teeth properly or rinse your mouth properly, what happens? Food gets stuck on the teeth. Now, this food that is stuck in the teeth calls the bacteria. Okay, the food along with the bacteria and certain salts, they form yellowing substance. Okay, which is called plague. Basically, acids are released. Okay, now try to understand what is plague. It is the deposition of food, salts, and bacteria. Okay, that is plague formation. And when you go to dentist, they basically remove this plague, the yellowing of the teeth. Okay, so it is, now I told you what is the function of a, a teeth, like what is the function of teeth. They help in grinding our food or breaking the food into pieces, helps us in chewing our food. And we have seen the parts of teeth: root, neck, and crown. And we discussed the types of teeth: incisors, canines, molars, premolars. And also I told the milk teeth, the 20 milk teeth present in child are replaced by permanent teeth, which are total 32, 16 in the upper jaw and 16 in the lower jaw. Now, what is, now since we have discussed the importance of teeth, it is very important that we maintain proper hygiene of the teeth. Oral hygiene means what? Taking proper care of the teeth. If you won't take proper care, what happens? There are chances of plague development. Plague development means deposition of bacteria, food, and salts on your teeth. Or there are chances of cavity formation. Can you see black color structures here? Those are all your cavities. What are cavities? Cavities means, for example, you're not brushing your teeth properly or not rinsing your mouth after having food. Then what happens? Obviously, food gets stuck, right? For example, a food got stuck here. Okay, then what happens? Immediately bacteria starts coming, bacteria starts feeding on the food. Then bacteria, what does it do? It releases acids. The acids which are released by the bacteria now start making holes in the teeth. Those are called cavities. Okay, and once holes are formed in the teeth, what happens? Immediately the bacteria goes inside the teeth. Who is present inside the teeth? You have basically vessel, like blood vessels. Okay, And this bacteria, once it starts going inside, it makes holes in the teeth and starts damaging the gums. Can you see, these are your gums? And that's the reason some people also show blood in the gums. Okay, so that's the reason it's very important that you brush your teeth and rinse your mouth properly every after every meal. Rinsing is must, and brushing the teeth is important, uh, like twice a day, early in the morning and night after dinner. Okay, otherwise there are high chances of plaque formation or cavity, tooth decay or cavity formation. Okay, now, doctors or dentists advise you not to eat chocolates or chewy items. Why is that so? Because when you eat chewy items, there are high chances that they get stuck to your teeth. And when there is any food item that is stuck, it attracts bacteria. Bacteria comes, feeds on the food, releases acids. Acids released cause holes inside the teeth, and eventually, what happens? The teeth is lost. Okay. Now, for example, let's assume here there is a food item that got stuck. Then bacteria comes. Once bacteria feeds on the food, it releases acids. These acids, what do? They start making hole. They drill a hole. Okay, make a hole, and the bacteria grow inside, damage even the gums which are surrounding. And eventually, what happens is your tooth which is present inside the gum, which is very tight, it becomes very loose because gums are affected, and the tooth will fall. Okay, you lose your teeth. Once you lose your permanent teeth, there is no chance that you get teeth back. If you have milk teeth and if it is lost, you get permanent teeth, but once permanent teeth are lost, you can't again grow them back. Okay, now what should we do in order to maintain or take good care of our teeth? Brushing your teeth, rinsing your mouth, eating fruits and vegetables. When you eat fruits and vegetables, what happens? Basically, they scrub your teeth, they remove any particles which are present. When you eat carrots or radish or such raw vegetables and fruits, they act as scrub on your teeth. Okay, for your teeth. So raw fruits and vegetables should be consumed. And if you have tooth pain, if you are feeling that your tooth is aching, immediately you need to go to the dentist. They advise you what actually is the problem. Okay, and you need to say no to sugary or sticky items. If you eat more amount of sugars, chocolates, ice creams, then what happens? The food, there are more sugary items in your mouth, in your teeth. Bacteria gets attracted, it releases acid, resulting in cavity formation. Okay, and you need to drink milk daily. Why? Milk is very, very important, or it helps in strengthening your teeth. Okay, you will have strong teeth if you drink milk. Is it clear? So basically, oral hygiene is quite crucial, very important. It is a part of personal hygiene. We discussed what are the, we discussed basically what are the good habits that you need to have to be a good and healthy individual. Along with that, in detail, we discussed about oral hygiene, how to take proper care of your teeth. Okay, and the four types of teeth include incisors, canines, molars, and premolars. 16 on the upper jaw and 16 on the in the lower jaw. So in today's class, we have discussed what are the factors affecting health. First is diet. If you eat balanced diet, then you develop into a healthy individual. Balanced diet is nothing but taking appropriate amounts of all the nutrients in your meals, including all food items having proper nutrients in them in appropriate proportions. Okay, and different people require different amounts of these nutrients depending on their age, whether depending on their gender, and depending on the type of work they do. And this is the chart which displays the amount of nutrients that an individual, depending on their age, they require. And this pyramid tells us that the amount of fats that we have to consume should be very, very less. Amount of cereals should be in good amount, or carbohydrates should be taken in good amounts, and water must be consumed properly. And not just eating food, even doing exercise is also equally important. Exercising helps our body to be active, strengthens our muscles, keeps our lungs and heart efficient in their functioning. And children, adults, teenagers, they require more movement of their body, and exercising helps in decreasing or burning our calories, as a result of which an obese individual also can grow into a healthy and fit person. Sleeping is also very crucial. Proper sleep can lead to a healthy mind. Personal hygiene, as I told you, these are certain habits that one must follow throughout their life. Okay, at any particular stage of your life, if you won't follow anything, obviously it will affect your health. Okay, so all these habits one must include daily, and it is very important that you follow these habits for a healthy growth, okay, of your body. And finally, we talked about oral hygiene, how teeth must be uh, given proper care, because they play a very important role in grinding the food that we eat, or making our food into tiny bits and pieces. So that's the end of this class. If you have any doubts, please feel free to comment it down in this video. And if you haven't watched my part 1, please view it from the playlist. I'll link it in the description. And any doubts in the previous units, you can post it or comment it in the videos. And don't hesitate. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Biology Foundation. Enjoy the process of learning. Bye bye. Have a good day.